As the smoke clears from the latest round of high-stakes airstrikes in the Middle East, a chilling revelation from Jerusalem has just rewritten the script of the Iranian succession crisis. In a bombshell interview on CBS 60 Minutes, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has officially shattered the silence surrounding the mysterious new supreme leader of Iran, Motjabe Khamenei. For months, the world has whispered about the fate of the man who inherited the throne after his father was killed in an unprecedented US-Israeli strike. Now, Netanyahu has confirmed that the world's most elusive leader is indeed alive, but he is running a nation of 80 million people from a fortified hole in the ground. Good day, you're watching the Global Observer. Our lead story today examines the disturbing new reality in Tehran, where a wounded leader in a bunker is desperately clinging to an authority that is rapidly evaporating. Even as Israel prepares for what could be the final act of its decade-long nuclear standoff. To understand why this is sending shockwaves through global intelligence, the Global Observer would want you to have a look at the math of modern power. Since Motjabe Khamenei was appointed supreme leader in early March 2026, he was and has been a complete ghost. There have been no public speeches, no verified videos, and no meeting with foreign dignitaries. In the high-stakes world of authoritarian politics, if you aren't seen, you aren't leading. Netanyahu's admission that Motjabe is holed up in some bunker changes the narrative from a leader in command to a leader in hiding. Think of it like a captain trying to steer a sinking ship through a tube while the crew is already fighting over the lifeboats. Israel's assessment is clear. Motjabe is physically present somewhere, perhaps a fortified command center deep beneath Tehran or a secure medical facility in the northern mountains. But his operational influence is at an all-time low. The reality of a bunker leader is a psychological weapon that Netanyahu is now using to deconstruct the Iranian state from the inside out. By painting Motjabe as a weak and wounded figure, Israel is sending a direct message to the headliners in the Revolutionary Guard. Your boss isn't standing with you in the mosque or the public squares. He is tucked away in a safe house while you bear the crushing weight of the war. This creates a dangerous vacuum of visible leadership. History shows us that when a leader becomes a shadow, the subordinates start acting like this. There are growing reports of an internal power struggle between the regular military and the deep state groups using Motjabe's name to legitimize their own decisions. It is a house of cards waiting for a single gust of wind. But here is where the story turns from a mystery into a potential global wildfire. Netanyahu didn't just talk about the man in the bunker. He used a final warning about the mission. While the world is exhaling and hoping for a ceasefire, the Israeli Prime Minister told CBS that the war is far from over. In his view, the conflict cannot end as long as Iran's nuclear infrastructure is still standing. He specifically pointed to the stockpiles of highly enriched uranium and the centrifuge that are still pining in hidden facilities. You go in and you take it out. Netanyahu stated with a cold finality. This is the hard red line. Israel is essentially saying that they will not accept a peace deal that leaves the nuclear threat intact, and they are prepared for direct physical intervention to dismantle it once and for all. This brings us to the question of why this exposure is happening right now. This isn't just a new update, it is a calculated psychological operation. By confirming that Motjabe is alive but incapacitated, Israel is forcing the Iranian regime to prove otherwise. It puts the ball back in Tehran's court. If they show a fake video, AI detection will tear it apart. If they show nothing, the rumors of his death or a total weakness will continue to demobilize their proxies, from Hezbollah to the Houthis. It is like a master chess player telling its opponent that their king is trapped in a corner of the board, even if the opponent hasn't realized it yet. The implications for the Iranian people are even more profound. For those watching their country suffer through the 2026 war, the image of a leader in a bunker is the ultimate betrayal. It reinforces the idea that the regime cares more about its own survival than the safety of the citizens. As the prices of bread and fuel skyrocket, the knowledge that the supreme leader is hiding in a multi-billion-dollar fortification creates a friction that no amount of propaganda can smooth over. This is how regime collapse, not just from bombs, but from a loss of faith. While the war focuses on the kinetic war, the war of accounting is also taking its role. Netanyahu's interview also signaled a shift in how Israel's view its own sovereignty. He mentioned that it is time for Israel to wean itself from American financial support, a move that surprised even his own staff. This suggests a nation preparing for a long-term, autonomous struggle against its primary rival. It shows that Israel is not just looking for a quick strike, but for a total restructuring of the regional power dynamic. They are playing the long game, betting that the Iranian regime is currently ripe for a collapse from within. We have to ask what happens when a wounded animal is cornered. A leadership in crisis operating purely from the shadow is always the most dangerous kind. If Motjabe truly cannot show his face, the desperation of the Revolutionary Guard might lead to a fatal mistake. They might escalate the conflict just to prove they are still strong. The scaffolding of the proxy network that Iran built is shaking. And as Netanyahu pointed out, if the center collapses, the entire structure goes with it. The world is watching the countdown to a moment that will either lead to a total regional war or the birth of a new Iran. The truth that Netanyahu exposed isn't just about a man's health, it is about the death of a system. The era where a supreme leader could rule from a pedestal of divine authority is being replaced by an era where they hide in bunkers to avoid the light of day. For the people of Iran and for those watching from across the globe, the question is no longer where is Motjabe, but rather what comes after him. The vacuum of power is growing and history hates a vacuum. Thank you for watching The Global Observer, and I urge you to stay right there.